You probably know that in order to do well on Spotify, you have to get on playlists. But most people, they don't know how. They also don't understand the different types and how they function. The way they work is also constantly changing. So I'm going to give you an up-to-date crash course on Spotify playlists. If you don't know, I'm Justin. I run Cosmic Academy, an artist development program. We've been around now for over 11 years, and we've worked with over 700 incredible artists. And these artists, they get the best results. They sign to Spinnin', Defected, Toolroom, Armada, Anjuna, Monstercat, the biggest labels. They play the biggest shows, EDC, Tomorrowland, Ultra. And yes, they do incredibly well on Spotify. We have many students with hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners. We have many students with millions of plays per song. And they're doing this by getting on all different types of playlists. So I'm going to break all that down and how our students succeed. As I teach it though, you're going to hear me say this one word a lot: algorithm. Spotify, just like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, is running on an algorithm. An algorithm, think of like a robot that is collecting every type of data on the platform. The user data, the listening habits, how people are interacting with the music. There's just so much data on the platform and it's collecting it all. And the playlists we're going to talk about today are using that data or using that algorithm in some way. They have some relation to it. Some rely on the algorithm more, some rely on the algorithm less. There's actually 5 different types of playlists currently on Spotify in 2023. And the one that's going to help you the most, I'm going to save that till the end, so stay with me. So let's go through them. First, you smash that like button. I don't know what it does. I heard though that it gives a muffin to a mouse. And when you think about a mouse, you probably think cheese, but no, the mice, they've been trying to get into the muffin game. They want the muffins. They want to bake the muffins. They want some muffins. So smash that like button. Let's get those muffins to the mice. The first type of playlist is the Spotify editorial. These, for example, are Mint or Dance Rising. If you see a playlist and it only says Spotify on it, then it's an editorial playlist. What that means is there are editors that work for Spotify that are involved in that playlist creation. However, and I want to make this clear, they still use the data that they're getting from the algorithm to select these songs. They're not going to just put random songs that aren't doing well, because the goal of any platform is to keep you on the platform. The goal of any algorithm is to keep you there. So these curators are using the data that they're getting from the algorithm to make those final decisions. And in order to pitch these, well, you can't really pitch these. The most you can do is when you have a song coming out about 3 weeks before, you'll get a notification on your Spotify for Artists account where you can submit some information about yourself in the record, and hopefully some editorial person sees it. You can write 500 words on the record and you just hope that they listen. Now, I actually have a whole video explaining this and explaining how to make the best pitches for the editorial playlists. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and catch me for that one. But like I said before, these editorial people are dealing with thousands and thousands of songs, and it's really just a few playlists, so standing out is very difficult. Let's jump to the next kind of playlist. This is called the personalized editorial. Examples of these are like Housework or Brain Food. You know it's a personalized editorial because it says made for your name. The way this works is it's similar to the regular editorial, but there's even more of a reliance on the algorithm. So let's just say there's a large group of songs. They call this at Spotify the pool. And this large group of songs is then looked at by the algorithm. The algorithm then decides what to take from that pool and then shows it to you. So 2 different people checking out Brain Food or Housework might actually see 2 different sets of songs. So these pools are very, very large. And again, there's no way of direct pitching them. And this type of playlist is actually quite new. And the best way you're going to end up there is actually by getting on labels that the algorithm and that the pool recognizes. I know there's a lot of folks out there that don't like working with the labels, and I get it, but a recognized label will always help when it comes to stuff like this. Because if they've been around a while, they've been doing a lot of business, if they have other artists that do well on these types of playlists, then the algorithm recognizes that within the pool. And the prior relationship and the prior recognition, that's extremely important. So when you're searching for a good label, one thing I tell my students to do is check out the prior releases that the label had and see how those individual records did on some of these playlists. Let's talk about the next type. The next type is the fully algorithmic playlist. The algorithmic playlist is when there's absolutely no editorial team involved, no human beings involved whatsoever. This is Discover Weekly. This is Release Radar. You can find these by going to the Discover section on Spotify. These will also say made for you, for your name. And these are completely 100% based on the individual person. So just like Instagram, just like TikTok, you get shown what the algorithm thinks you're going to like. And in order to end up in front of these people, your record needs to be getting engagement from a similar audience. We'll talk about that when I get to the final type of playlist, but let's get to the next one. Artist playlists. Artist playlists are made by artists. Sometimes they can be made by labels or radio shows, and they're independently run. They have no relation to the Spotify editorial team or to the algorithm. And these playlists can feature people that the artist likes or that they want to help. And if you're an artist, you can and should make one. I highly suggest you do. And no, it's not to blow up these huge playlists and grow a following through them. You should make them, though, to shed love and to shed some light and help other artists. And don't just throw on the big artists. Shed love and help the midliners and the openers. Remember, all this marketing stuff that you're doing, it's not just about you helping yourself out. It's also about lifting up others. Okay, the next playlist, and this is where you're going to get the most results, the user playlists. User playlists are playlists that the everyday person, the everyday user is creating and using on Spotify. There's actually over 2 billion of these playlists on the platform. And these types of playlists you can pitch directly. Search a genre on the Spotify platform, click on the playlist tab, and you will find real playlists run by real people, not robots, not algorithms, real people that you can pitch. You can search these people on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and then you can pitch them your music. And the way this works is if you get your music on a lot of these, and let's say you get on 20 and each playlist has 1,000 followers, your music is now being shown to 20,000 people. The algorithm then notices that, and this will have a cascading effect, a snowball effect throughout the other types of playlists. The algorithm says, whoa, what's this song? It's being shown to a lot of our people. We should test it out on the Discover Weekly or the Release Radar. It'll boost your engagement and all that data that the editorial people love. And then you'll end up on some personalized editorials, some regular editorials. So using the user playlists will actually help you with pretty much all the other ones we talked about. Now, if you want even more Spotify tips, I made an entire video going through my favorite ones. I'm going to put that up next, so I'll see you in there. Let's go watch that now.